You that got here on time, and thanks for joining us for our January Lunch and Learn that is a repeat of our November. And thanks to Joseph for being so flexible and joining us again. We had some technical issues in November, but I'm glad that we've got a few more people here. I got the privilege of doing a fam trip on Explora last year in February and fell in love with this ship. And now they've got 2 ships with more on the way. And so I'll let Joseph tell you all about the wonders that are Explora journeys. So take it away, Joseph.
Thank you so much, Trish. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm really happy to be here and talk to you guys a little bit about our brand. So I'll go ahead and I'll share my screen now. Trish and Jeff, tell me if you're having any issues seeing anything, but I think we're all good. I tested it out. Let's see here.
Yay.
All right. Looking good on your side?
Mm-hmm. Yep, looks good here.
Okay, perfect. All right, so a little bit of an introduction for you guys. I'm going to start things out by showing you a video of our first ship, which just launched in August of 2023, Explora 1. And then we launched our second ship just a few months ago in September of 2024, Explora 2. So this video I'm going to show you, I like to start out the presentation with this because this gives you a great kind of introduction to the look and the feel of the brand. It makes it a little bit more tangible. You know, we're not a household name yet. We're really just working to get our name out there and for our advisor partners like all of you to introduce us to your clients. So what I'll do is I'll send a follow-up email later this afternoon, and I'll provide you guys with some links to some of our video content because I think this is really a great way to introduce the brand to your clients and make it a little bit more tangible, because they'll probably say, you know, I've never heard of Explora, just as my friends and family do when I tell them about our brand. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you guys to Explora 1. I know that we are having some audio issues with this video earlier, so I'll kind of narrate it for you in case the background music isn't coming through. One of the things that I really love about our ships, Explora 1 and 2, is that they're truly medium-sized ships. They're just under 64,000 tons. So on a ship of that size with a premium brand or a contemporary brand, you would traditionally have about 1,500 or so guests on board. With our ships, the maximum capacity is 922 guests. So we have 461 suites on board. And what that means is you have an incredible amount of square footage per guest. To me, it's kind of that perfect size of a ship because we're large enough that you have 6 different restaurants, 12 different bars and lounges. Every single accommodation on board is a suite. So you have all of this incredible space and choice of venues and dining and entertainment, but you're sharing it with fewer than 1,000 guests on board. So it's really truly the best of both worlds. And you'll see as we go around the ship here, the attention to detail, it really has the look and feel of a luxury boutique hotel, very different than a traditional ship that many of you have probably sailed on before or have booked your clients on. And that was by design. We wanted to create something that was truly different and that would appeal to the type of clients who maybe think that they're not cruisers, the type of people who are more hotel or luxury resort type of guests who think that cruising isn't the type of experience that they're looking for, when in actuality, they just haven't tried the right cruise brand if they've tried any at all. So that was really our intention, was to build a brand that would appeal to those people who are more hotel and luxury resort guests. We have 4 different pool areas. This is one of our outdoor pools. 3 of them are outdoors and 1 has a retractable roof over it. So not only do you have all this amazing space and square footage on the interior of the ship, the exterior spaces are absolutely amazing as well. I'll show you guys a little bit more of those in a moment. So that gives you a little bit of an introduction to the look and the feel of the brand. I have been in this industry for several decades, and I've been lucky enough to work for some amazing luxury cruise brands over the years. And I can honestly say I've never been on a ship as beautiful as Explora 1 and 2. They're so unique. They're so beautiful. The attention to detail and the design. Again, it looks and feels like a luxury hotel. One of the things when I do ship tours with advisors, this past year when we were in the US, when you first step on board and you see that lobby bar on the left there, the first thing that people always say is, this doesn't feel like a ship. I feel like I'm in a beautiful luxury boutique hotel in New York or London or Hong Kong. And that is exactly the intention behind the design. So we did a lot of surveying and worked with consulting groups when the brand was being designed from the ground up. So we're a family-owned company. We're owned by the Aponte Vago family. They own the MSC group. And under that umbrella parent company, you have MSC Cargo, which is the largest cargo company in the entire world. You have MSC Cruises, the contemporary brand that we're all familiar with. And then Explora Journeys is the family's passion project, their brand new world-class luxury brand that they wanted to bring into their family of brands. So this was something that was really near and dear to their heart. It was inspired by their own private yacht that they sail in the Mediterranean every summer. And they wanted to bring that luxury yacht, luxury hotel experience to the ocean. So in working with these consulting firms that they hired, they interviewed over 20,000 luxury travelers. And in all of the surveying that they did, the 4 kind of common threads that kept coming up time and time again that luxury travelers were looking for in a travel experience was space, choice, design, and immersive journeys. So these became the brand pillars, which the brand was designed around. So space, as I mentioned, beautiful medium-sized ships, just under 64,000 tons, but with less than 1,000 guests on board. Choice is, being a medium-sized ship, we have 6 different restaurants, 12 different bars and lounges, 4 pools, an immense amount of space per guest. So the ship never feels crowded. It has that really relaxed, kind of laid-back ambiance that you have at a luxury resort, but all of the amenities that you want at your fingertips. Design, of course, as you saw in the video, gorgeous, sleek, modern, sophisticated. But the one thing I always like to point out, and I think this is really important for most luxury travelers these days, is that even though it's this really elegant, refined environment, it's also very warm and very welcoming. It's not cold. It's not stuffy. It's a really beautiful, warm, welcoming, comfortable environment. And that's part of the design, but that's also part of our amazing hosts that we have on board. We refer to our team on board as our hosts. And we want people to feel very welcomed, very at home. So it's not overly formal. It's not stuffy. We don't do formal nights. So your clients don't need to pack suits and ball gowns and all those things. Of course, I always mention that if they really love dressing up, you can always dress up here in an elegant environment. They'll certainly not feel out of place, but there's no requirement to wear a jacket and tie or a ball gown or anything like that. So we want people to be comfortable. It's very much country club, resort, luxe, country club casual. We want people to feel comfortable and welcomed, even though it is this really elegant, refined environment. And then, of course, immersive journeys. Because we're that perfect size medium ship, we can still go into those smaller ports. So you'll see when I talk a little bit about our itineraries, we're still going to some of those more off the beaten path destinations. So a look at where we are and where we're going. As I mentioned, Explora 1 launched in August of 2023. September of 2024, we welcomed Explora 2. And then between now and 2028, we will have a fleet of 6 ships. So Explora 1 and 2 are nearly identical twin sisters. One small difference, which I'll mention a little bit later when I talk about our retail spaces on board, but essentially the same size, the same design, and the same layout. When we get to number 3 and 4, these ships are going to be 60 feet longer because we're implementing liquid natural gas propulsion system. We're always looking to be more and more green, more environmentally focused. So anything we can do to minimize our impact on the environment, we're always striving towards those technologies and implementing them wherever we can. So we'll have liquid natural gas propulsion systems on Explora in 3 and 4. What's really cool about this is that even though the ships are going to be slightly longer in length, so slightly larger overall, we're not adding any additional guests. So they'll still have maximum capacities of 922 guests. And that's because we're going to be removing some of the entry-level suites and adding additional penthouses and a second owner's residence. So even though they will be a bit larger, same guest capacity. And then when we get to number 5 and 6, we'll be implementing hydrogen propulsion systems. So again, we are very much going to be on the cutting edge of green technology with these ships. A look at our destinations currently. So we just added our deployment for 2026 through November of 2026, which includes our return to Northern Europe, Iceland, and Greenland, with Explora number 3 being launched in 2026. Other than that, the focus really is going to be on the Caribbean during the winter months and the Mediterranean during the summer months until we get number 3 in the water in 2026. So a lot of advisors or their clients will ask, you know, I'm looking to go to South America, I'm wanting to go to Asia, Australia, New Zealand, etc. We will eventually be getting to those destinations as we grow our fleet. So as we saw on the previous slide, we have several more ships coming online in the next couple of years. As we get those additional ships in the water, we'll be spanning out around the globe and adding additional destinations. A look ahead, a little preview, in 2027, we will have a ship on the Pacific. So we will be doing Alaska in the summer months. And then I think the intention, it's looking like we'll probably keep a ship in that region and then do some Hawaii, South Pacific, and then hopefully eventually Australia and Asia after that. So just keep that in mind. If you have clients who are really adamant about wanting to do some more exotic destinations, we will be getting there in the coming years. It's just going to be a few years down the road. The other thing I always say about that too is, you know, we truly feel that our ships are the destination. A lot of time clients will go to a destination that they've been to because a new hotel or a new resort opens and they want to see that new hotel or that new resort. We truly feel that way about our ships, you know, and always take a look at our itineraries. Even if your clients have been to the Mediterranean before, or if they've been to the Caribbean before, take a look at our itineraries because we go to some really interesting off the beat destinations that I can almost guarantee you they probably haven't been to before. Because even myself, having worked in the cruise side of the business for many years, I've done the Mediterranean with us this past year in 2024, and I've done the Caribbean twice in 2024. And we went to several ports on both of those itineraries that I had never been to, even though I'd been to those regions of the world many times before. So we have some really fantastic itineraries. These are actually from 2024. I just reminded my marketing team this morning. I said, hey, by the way, when you guys get a chance, give me some updated ones for 2025. But I like to show these as examples because we'll have very similar itineraries to these in our summer 2025 season coming up. But what we do is we've broken most of our itineraries down into 7-night segments. Because we're a little bit more of a new, sleek, modern luxury cruise brand, we are appealing to a slightly younger demographic than the traditional luxury cruise brands that have been around for a few decades. Our average age has been right around 60 years old, which is substantially younger than some of the other luxury cruise brands out there. And because of that, that means that not all of our clients are retired. So what we do is we break most of our itineraries down into 7-night segments, like these 3 that we're looking at here. But we don't have a home port. So from one week, we may be going from Athens to Venice. The next week will be Venice back to Athens, but no repetition of ports, completely new ports. And then the next week after that could be Athens to Istanbul, and then Istanbul back to Athens, but without any repetition of the same ports. So the reason for this is it gives incredible diversity with the type of itineraries we can offer depending on where your clients want to go. So for example, on this middle itinerary here, in Croatia, let's say your clients have been to Split, they've been to Dubrovnik. The only stop we have in Croatia on that middle itinerary is in Hvar, which is typically a port that you visit on yacht charters, not very often on a cruise. So we've really designed these itineraries really well. They're nicely curated so that even if your client has been to some of these countries before, we're going to hit some ports they haven't been to. So example, in Italy, for example, we're not doing the Amalfi Coast, we're going to the Puglia region. So there's a lot of diversity of ports here and a lot of more off the beaten path destinations. And for your clients who are retired or have the ability to work remote, you can easily combine these into extended journeys where they're not going to have any repetition of the ports. So this is an example of that, where you could combine 4 different segments into a 28-night itinerary with no repetition of the intermediate ports. The only repetition would be the turnaround ports like Athens or Istanbul. And of course, being larger cities, it's great to have a couple days in those destinations and you don't have to get a hotel. So again, lots of flexibility and a lot of great options here when you're looking at our itineraries. And the same is true in the Caribbean as well. We are going to be the only luxury ship that's actually docked in Monte Carlo for Formula One Grand Prix this May, and again in 2026 as well. We have an exclusive partnership, and we are going to be the only luxury ship that is docked and not tendering for the Grand Prix. So what's really cool about this is if you have clients who are big Grand Prix Formula One fans, we'll be the only ship that you can literally walk off and walk to the paddock. Because we're so close to the heart of the action, we actually have part of the ship being chartered as a floating hotel by Formula One, and we'll actually have some of the Formula One teams staying on board the ship as their floating hotel because we are right in the heart of the action. So this is a really cool opportunity for your clients who are into Formula One. You can just do a 5-night itinerary where the ship is literally a floating hotel in Monte Carlo, or on the screen here on the right side, we have several options where you can do extended journeys, either boarding before the ship gets to Monte Carlo or disembarking after the ship leaves Monte Carlo. So I'll send you guys a flyer in my follow-up email with some information on that, but this is a really unique and really cool opportunity for your clients who are Formula One fans. So touching on the brand itself and the onboard experience, as you would expect from a luxury cruise brand, we are completely all-inclusive. So that means that your dining experiences, which I'll delve into a little bit more in a moment, 5 of our 6 restaurants on board are fully included. We don't have a main dining room. So it is 6 specialty restaurants. Again, the experience is more like a luxury hotel or resort. So no main dining room, no early or late seating. You dine when and where you want. Of course, all of our fine wines and premium spirits are included. Welcome bottle of champagne the day that you check in. Access to the spa thermal area. So even if your client is not purchasing a spa treatment, they can still go in and use the hydrotherapy pool, the salt room, the sauna, the steam room. As long as there's space available, they just sign in and they can use the facilities. Complimentary Wi-Fi. And I can't emphasize enough how incredible our Wi-Fi is. Having been cruising for most of my life, we all know how Wi-Fi has been for the past 20 years or so on ships. It could be a frustrating experience, especially when you're having to pay for it and it's not that great. What's fantastic about our Wi-Fi is we have Starlink. So you have Wi-Fi speeds that are comparable to what most people have at home. So when I'm on board, I could be hosting this webinar from my suite on board the ship. I can FaceTime with my nieces. I can do everything that I do at home. I can even make phone calls over Wi-Fi and they're crystal clear. So this is fantastic because for, all of us on this call, we're working 24/7 because we work in the travel industry. So when all of us are on board, you can keep up with all your clients, you can keep up with all your emails, no problem. But for your clients, it opens up the opportunity to work remote if they have that ability. Or, for most people these days, unfortunately, so many of us, even if you're on vacation, may have to jump on a meeting or jump on a call to resolve something at work. So you have that ability, even if you're doing a transatlantic with us and you're in the middle of the ocean, you have high-speed satellite Wi-Fi and it's fully included. You get 3 devices per guest and every single suite has its own router. So this is a game changer for a lot of people. And people, the ship is amazing, but it's funny because people get so excited about the Wi-Fi when they realize they can do everything that they do at home. Of course, all of their onboard gratuities. And if we're docking or tendering to a port that's outside of the nearest city center will include shuttle services to the nearest city center. So now let's take a look at some of our different accommodations on board. So one of the things that's absolutely wonderful about our ship is that every single accommodation, even our least expensive entry-level suite, they are all suites, all with private, unobstructed ocean view terraces. So no inside suites, no rooms with just a window, no rooms with any sort of an obstruction. Everything is a suite with an unobstructed ocean view terrace. Our entry-level suites start at 377 square feet. So these are our ocean terrace suites. So even if your clients are somewhat budget conscious, you can be completely comfortable booking them in our entry-level OT1 ocean terrace suites. They're absolutely positively gorgeous. Heated marble floors, Dyson hair dryers, separate coffee maker and tea kettle in your cabinet. Just the design of the ship and these suites is so comfortable, warm, and welcoming. You have a very large terrace that you have a table and 2 chairs, plus a full-size chaise lounge. So you can lay out there, you can read a book. It is all really comfortable, usable space. I can't say enough about what incredible entry-level accommodations they are. They are absolutely gorgeous. So rest assured, even if your clients are looking for those entry-level rooms, they are absolutely positively gorgeous. So those are our entry-level suites, the ocean terraces. Our mid-range categories are our penthouses. We have 4 different penthouse categories that range from 463 up to 732 square feet. So these are great options for your clients who are looking for a little bit more space, but maybe not wanting to spend quite as much as our top categories, which are our residences. Especially if you're doing an extended journey, or if you have a client who is maybe looking to do work on board and want a little bit more space to have a dedicated workspace. These penthouses will either give you a dining table and or a desk, depending on which category of penthouse it is. So it gives you a little bit more room to spread out without going into our top categories. And then those top categories we refer to as our residences. So these are ranging from 753 up to 1,604. People sometimes ask, are these privately owned? And the answer is no. We refer to them as residences because they truly feel like a home. It's literally like having a condominium on the ship where you have a living room, dining space, a separate bedroom. When you get to the larger residences, you even have a separate powder room for guests, and then a primary bedroom and bathroom. And then they have immense amounts of outdoor deck space. Every single one of our residences has a private whirlpool tub on the terrace, and all residences come with butler services, which we call our residence hosts. And then the cherry on top of it all is our owner's residence, which is over 3,000 square foot, larger than the average American home. This is for your over-the-top, ultra-luxury clients who want the best of the best no matter where they go. You have this U-shaped terrace that faces out, takes up the entire aft section of this ship on deck 8. You have a private infinity plunge pool, an immense amount of private deck space, and then a living room, dining room, foyer, guest bathroom, incredible primary suite and bathroom. It is just incredible. I can't say enough about how over the top and gorgeous this suite is. The thing that's really remarkable about it is that even though this is our highest level of accommodation on board, it is almost always booked. So I've been lucky enough to sail an Explora 1 6 times now, and it wasn't until my 6th journey that I just took in October of last year that I was finally able to see this residence in real life, because it had been booked on the first 5 journeys that I had sailed on. So keep that in mind if you do have those ultra luxe clients. It's definitely something that's good to book as far in advance as possible. And as I mentioned before, when we get to ships number 3 and beyond, we'll be adding a second owner's residence. So now let's talk about the food. And I'm starting to get hungry because it's almost lunchtime over here on the West Coast. This is another area where we just really stand out from the crowd. I truly feel that no one comes close to our culinary experience. It is just absolutely positively phenomenal and world-class. A huge part of that is because of this gentleman on the right here, Frank Geringer. We actually kind of lured him over from Oceania. As you all know, Oceania has always been very highly regarded for their culinary program on board. And it was quite a coup for us to get Frank and bring him on board our team. And he brought some of his team with him. And he created this incredible dining experience on board, which is our 6 different restaurants that we're looking at here. So as I mentioned before, we don't have a traditional main dining room. We just have 6 beautiful restaurants. I'll quickly walk you guys through these 6. So all of them are fully included except for Anthology. Anthology in the upper left-hand side there is our chef's tasting Michelin star style dining experience. It's luxury Italian food. Our owners, the Aponte Vago family, are of Italian ancestry. They live in Geneva, Switzerland now, but they're from Italy originally. And they wanted to have this Michelin star style world-class Italian dining experience on board. So that is Anthology. That is the only dining experience that there would be a fee for. Everything else on board is included. Emporium Marketplace is our really phenomenal fast casual dining experience. So we don't have a traditional buffet restaurant. Don't call it a buffet because it's definitely not that. It is this beautiful marketplace where we have all these different food stations and everything is prepared fresh and plated for you. So it is so much fun to dine there. It's open breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the breadth and the amount of variety is absolutely incredible. We have, oh gosh, I always focus on all the unhealthy stuff because it's so good. We have the best world-class pizza on board that's made in these wood-fired ovens. I'm obsessed with our pizza. We have pasta that is handmade on board. We have stir-fry station. We have a carvery with all different cuts of meat. We have a sushi bar. We have a salad station. We have power bowls. We have a grill. We have dessert stations. We have a creperie and a gelateria. It is like everything under the sun. And the thing I love about it is you can go here again for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's fast casual, but the quality and the presentation and the experience is on par with our sit-down restaurants. So it's really just phenomenal. And it is another thing, along with the Wi-Fi and the service and the ship itself, that a lot of the advisors that I've hosted on board rave about is just how incredible the dining experience is at Emporium. Phil Rouge is our beautiful, elegant French restaurant, open for breakfast and for dinner. I finally got to have breakfast there. It's funny because I usually just do room service for breakfast because that's always fun when you're on the ship, but they do a fabulous breakfast service at Phil Rouge and an incredible dinner as well. My favorite thing at Phil Rouge in the evening is every single night of the week, they'll have a different souffle of the day that you can get for dessert, and they're all phenomenal. Sakura is our incredible Asian restaurant. Think about Thai, Japanese, Korean, all sorts of Southeast Asian dishes. And we have another full sushi bar there. So if you have clients who are into sushi, as I have had some friends who are on board who are big sushi fans, they go absolutely bananas for all the amazing sushi that we have on board, especially because it's all included and sushi is usually pretty expensive. So people really love Sakura and our sushi bar there. Med Yacht Club is our pan-Mediterranean dining experience. So it's Spanish tapas, Italian, Greek, Middle Eastern, North African. I absolutely love the menu here. It's so good. And what's really fun too is because everything is free flow luxury, you could stop by Med Yacht Club. We have a great bar and a lounge inside Med Yacht Club restaurant. You can stop there in the evening and have a cocktail or a glass of wine and have some tapas, and then go to a different restaurant for dinner. So there's a lot of flexibility. And again, we want people to behave like they would at a hotel or at a luxury resort where people come and go as they please. And it's not this traditional cruise experience where you're sitting down in the main dining room for your early or late seating, and then you're kind of locked into that. And then our last but not least, we have Marble & Co., which is our European steakhouse. It's beautiful, kind of sleek and sexy steakhouse. And that's open every evening for dinner. We dry age our own cuts of meat on board, and it is absolutely incredible. So a quick, I know I'll always get a question about this. So to give you guys a quick answer, people will often say, do I need to make reservations for all 6 of these? So the answer is 3 of them require reservations and 3 of them don't. And the only reason for that is because 3 of them are smaller. So the 3 largest restaurants do not require reservations. So Emporium Marketplace, of course, fast casual does not require reservations. Phil Rouge and Med Yacht Club are our other 2 largest restaurants on board. Those do not require reservations. The 3 smaller restaurants do. So Marble & Co., Sakura, and Anthology, because they're smaller capacity-wise, require reservations. Clients can book those starting 60 days in advance. We allow 1 reservation per journey, but then of course, they're welcome to dine there again once they're on board. They can only pre-book them once per journey. And then just along the same lines of the concept of having all of these different dining venues, the same is true for our lounge and entertainment venues. So we actually have 12 different bars and lounge spaces on board the ship. This is just 6 of them. To give you an idea, these are our 6 kind of largest ones, and also the ones where we have some different entertainment options going on. But the idea is that after dinner in the evening, everyone kind of spreads out around the ship, and there's all these different entertainment options going on in different venues. And so the idea is that no matter what you're in the mood for, whether you're in the mood to dance or have a quiet whiskey in the malt whiskey bar or see a great show in the Journeys Lounge, there's going to be something for you. And the idea is also that you can kind of, just like the dining venues, can kind of pick and choose and choose your own adventure, so to speak, and hop around. So for example, let's say you stop by before dinner and have a cocktail in the Explora lounge in the bottom right-hand side there. We have one of our 3 Steinway pianos in that lounge. There'll always be someone playing the piano and a vocalist with them in the evening. Have an amazing cocktail, watch the sunset, and get ready for dinner. Also, one of my favorites for a before dinner drink is Sky Bar on deck 14. This is a beautiful spot, you know, especially for sailing out of a beautiful port because it's in the aft section of the ship. It looks and feels like a beautiful hotel rooftop bar that you'd find in New York or LA. It's really sleek and cool and just beautiful. The lighting is really neat. So that's another one of my favorite spots for a before dinner drink. After dinner, you can go watch our headline entertainment in the Journeys Lounge. You'll notice in that photo of the Journeys Lounge in the top center photo there, the seating is really spread out. So again, the idea is that you can pop in and watch our entertainment for 30, 40 minutes, and then feel free to hop over and check out what's going on in the Astern Lounge or go have a whiskey or a drink up in the malt whiskey bar. We want people to always feel like they can come and go as they please, and that the night is just really whatever they're in the mood for. So it's really this idea of kind of free flow luxury continues on into the evening entertainment. And we don't do large production shows. It's not going to be like the traditional ships where you sit down and you're there for an hour to an hour and a half for a big Broadway production. It's more intimate. It's going to be live music, magicians, comedians, mentalists. But again, everything is on a more intimate scale. So it's really a lovely experience. And we have truly something for everyone in the evening. Also during the day, I forget to mention that in the Journeys Lounge, this is also the space where we'll have our lecturers that we refer to as our luminaries. So I already touched on this, but just again, a little bit of an idea of the breadth and the variety of what we offer as far as entertainment on board. Again, with our luminaries that are experts and people with fascinating lives and backgrounds from a really wide spectrum of backgrounds, talking to our guests about all different things, whether it's improving your smartphone photography, whether it's about being a female fighter pilot in the British Air Force. It is just kind of everything under the sun as far as our different luminaries that we have on board. They're really fascinating. People love them. And I know that's, again, a question I get a lot from advisors who have clients who've sailed with other luxury brands. People really love those guest speakers, and we do have amazing luminaries on board. You know, if they're looking for dancing, we will have a DJ and dancing in the Astern Lounge in the evening, all different special events depending on the time of year, the destinations that we're in. And then, of course, we bring in special entertainers on every journey as well. So the idea is that, you know, especially if your clients are doing an extended journey, they'll have different entertainment throughout. And now, since we've seen a lot of the inside of the ship, I just want to quickly walk you guys through some of our outdoor spaces As I mentioned before, we have 3 outdoor pools. The Astern pool is the one that we're looking at here, which is my personal favorite because it's that beautiful infinity pool at the back of the ship on deck 5. And then we have another pool in the mid ship section on deck 11, our conservatory pool, and that is the one that has the retractable roof. So, you know, looking into the future, when we start going to Northern Europe and Alaska, we'll have a pool area and whirlpools that are usable regardless of the climate that we're in. We have 64 cabanas on board, and people always say, you know, do they require reservations? Do I need to pay to use them? Fully included, no reservations required, because as you'll see, hopefully when you all sail with us someday, there's just so much space. It's never crowded. You never have to fight for a cabana or a perfect chaise lounge by the pool. There is just so much space per guest on board. And again, that's what makes it a luxury experience, is never having to fight for a spot by the pool, not having to guard your deck chair all day long. We want everyone to feel comfortable and relaxed like they're at home, but in this incredible, elegant environment. So here's a look at our conservatory pool. The one that I mentioned has the retractable roof over it. We have these, you can't quite see them in these photos, but we have these really cool whirlpools on the sides of the conservatory pool area. And they're linear whirlpools that face out to the ocean. So it's really cool because you get in and it's a long, skinny hot tub with a bench on one side, and you sit facing out to the ocean instead of, you know, sometimes it's awkward when you get in those whirlpools on ships and you're facing a bunch of strangers. Ours, you're facing out looking at the ocean. It's just one of those little touches where you realize how well designed and well thought out everything on the ship is. So look at our spa area. As I mentioned, access to the spa thermal area is included. And the reason for that is because we actually don't outsource our spa. Most cruise lines will have their spa managed by an outside company like Steiner's or Canyon Ranch, for example. We own and operate our spa just like every other part of the ship. So that's why we're able to let our guests just enjoy it as another wonderful amenity. And then if they do want to purchase a spa treatment like a facial or a massage, the other thing that's wonderful about it not being an outside company is you're not going to get a big sales pitch at the end of your treatment. Because again, that's not a true luxury experience if you feel like you're being given a sales pitch at the end of something. And the spa is just absolutely amazing. And again, I love it because I don't always, in the past, I haven't always used the spa when I'm on board ships because sometimes I don't always purchase a spa treatment. But the great thing is you can actually enjoy it regardless on our journeys. So I've always taken advantage of the hydrotherapy pool or laying in the salt room that's just behind those sliding glass doors on the right there. It's really an incredible facility and incredible services that we have. And then we have this beautiful gym that I never stepped foot in, but lots of people seem to enjoy it. This is actually the smaller side of the gym. This is the fitness room. So it looks like they have it set up for a boot camp class here, but they do yoga, meditation, boot camp, all different organized fitness classes, which were, of course, included. And then outside of here, you have a beautiful gym space with every type of machine you can imagine, all techno gym, beautiful top of the line gym equipment. And we even have Pilates trainers on board too. So for your clients who are a little bit better about keeping up with their fitness than I am, they will be very excited about our gym facilities. Although I should preface, it's a new year, so I'm trying to get back to the gym. So maybe next time I'm on board, I'll actually use it. I really should. And then before I start to wrap things up for you guys, I wanted to touch on kind of the final point of the onboard experience as far as the ship's facilities that I really think it kind of is the cherry on top of just a true luxury hotel experience is our incredible luxury shopping that we have on board. So, just like you would experience in a beautiful luxury hotel or a beautiful luxury resort, the shopping is really wonderfully curated, hand-picked items from around the world, designer clothing, and not just that it's beautiful and unique, it's also a lot of items that are from handmade designers from around the world. So not the type of typical items you're going to be finding at a gift shop on land. So I love it because you can find really great things for yourself or for your loved ones back home. I mean, like the handbags in the shop there are handmade in Africa. really cool designers from South America, from Europe. The sunglasses in that shot there are from LGR, which is this really cool Italian sunglass company that's been around for several hundred years. And they actually have a few different models of sunglasses that they've designed exclusively for us. So really cool, unique items that you're not going to find anyplace else. And we do have some really nice, tasteful logo items. You know, it's not your typical souvenir shop, that's for sure, but we do have some nice items that have the Explora mandala on them for clients who do want to bring home some branded items. But just a really cool, unique onboard shopping experience. One thing I always like to point out too is sometimes advisors will ask me, you know, what if my clients forget, you know, toothpaste or contact solution, you know, simple toiletries or sundries like that. We do have those on board. They're not out displayed in the open like they are on traditional ships. In our perfumery, which is a beautiful space where we have all these amazing fragrances, they actually open up one of the cabinets, and behind all these beautiful bottles of perfume, they have all of the sundries hidden there. It's kind of like a speakeasy for sundries. So it's just another really cool, unique design feature that we do have all of those essential items on board. They're just kind of tucked away behind all of the beautiful things, so it doesn't take away from the really kind of luxury retail experience that you have on board. And then to cap off that luxury retail experience, we have 4 mono-branded shops, including the only Rolex store in the entire world on a ship, a Cartier store, a Panerai store, and a Piaget store. So again, for your clients who are looking for luxury goods when they're traveling, people have been going absolutely crazy, especially for Rolex, because you may or may not know this, but Rolex, if you go to a Rolex store anywhere, you know, in Beverly Hills or New York or Geneva or Tokyo, you can try on the exposition models that they have in the store, but you usually have to be on a wait list, sometimes for more than a year, to get the watch model that you want, because they purposely create scarcity with their models to create demand. So one thing that's really unique and exciting for people who are watch collectors is our Rolex store on board the ship on Explora One actually has watches in stock. So for people who are watch aficionados or collectors, they can go on board and they can buy a Rolex and take it home with them, which they can do almost nowhere else in the world. So that's a really unique thing that people have been very excited about. So if you have those type of clients who are big watch collectors or Rolex people, that's definitely worth mentioning. We have had a few guests who have booked cruises with us because they wanted to get a new watch. And that was kind of the thing that got them over the finish line to make their booking. So just one thing I wanted to point out, I mentioned this in the beginning, the only real difference between Explora 1 and Explora 2 is the retail space. So on Explora 2, we do not have a Rolex store. The space where the Rolex store is on Explora 1 is occupied by a beautiful luxury Italian jewelry company called Buccellati. So on Explora 2, we have Buccellati. On Explora 1, we have Rolex. So just keep that in mind, just in case you do have one of those wonderful clients who wants to buy a Rolex on board, make sure you put them on Explora 1. The intention and the plan is that we will have Rolex stores on future ships. Rolex, because of course they like to create scarcity with their distribution, didn't want to have a store on every single ship, but we will have some on future ships, just not every single ship. So something to keep in mind if you have clients who are watch collectors. And before I wrap things up for you guys, I just want to touch a little bit on some of the tools and resources we have for you as advisors and our partners. If you haven't already, make sure that you're registered on our website to have an advisor login. In my follow-up email that I'll send to Trish to send out to you guys, I will send a link for you to register if you haven't already done that. And that will give you access to our booking suite, our marketing tools, our knowledge suite. We offer advisor rates on most of our journeys, and I would love for you to sail with us. So make sure when you have a chance, complete our knowledge suite, because that's the only prerequisite, is that you've registered and that you've completed our training modules. And then you're able to apply for advisor rates. We have really great competitive commission rates, no non-commissionable fees, so there's no gratuities or port charges or anything being added on to the cruise fare that's non-commissionable. You get the commission on the total cruise cost. And again, we want to be easy to work with and flexible. So I think since you're all probably in the Western US, please use me as your resource. I cover most of the Western US. So I would be your local contact. So when I send that follow-up email this afternoon, you'll have my contact info. Please never hesitate to reach out if there's anything I can do to support or assist you. If you're interested in white labeling, we work with a company called Approach Guides that makes it super, super simple to white label our website and to share it with your clients so that it takes away anything on our website that would direct your clients to contact us directly, and puts all of your own contact information in there. So you can scan this QR code, or in my follow-up email this evening, I will send you a link to the white labeling page. But definitely take advantage of that because it's so easy to do. You can literally set it up in 2 minutes or less. And that gives you the ability to share our website and have everything direct your client back to you when it's time to book. We have a great promotion going on right now, our Unique Oceans offer, up to 30% off select journeys, 10% deposit, and up to €1,000 in prepaid destination experience credit per suite. So this is a phenomenal deal. One thing I want to if I can give you guys one great takeaway today, it's that we are an incredible value. We're a new brand. We're not yet a household name. So unlike some of those other companies that have been around for decades, you're not going to have clients coming in and calling you up or emailing you and saying, I want to book an Explora journey. Hopefully that will start happening soon, but it's, our name is not as well known at this point. So we're really depending on our partners like you guys to get our name out there and to present us as an option to your luxury clients. And if I can give you one takeaway today, it's that if you have clients who are looking at other luxury cruise brands, who are maybe even considering a luxury land trip, especially in Europe, where it can be quite pricey and quite complicated from a logistics perspective, put us in there as an option. I think your clients will be pleasantly surprised by how incredibly competitive our pricing is, especially when you factor in the fact that we are all-inclusive. The dining, the service, the ship itself are all absolutely positively world-class, and the pricing is so attractive. In fact, I've had advisor friends reaching out to me the past couple months, and they're shocked to find out that a lot of times we are pricing competitive with Viking Ocean, with Oceana, even though those are more premium brands and not true luxury brands like we are oftentimes price competitive with some of those other premium brands. Or if you have clients who are doing the top suites on Celebrity, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, you'll find that our suites are often very comparably priced to the top suites on some of those contemporary brands. And now with us, you're getting an entire luxury ship and not just a luxury section of a larger ship. So keep us in mind, not just for your clients who are luxury cruise clients already, but for people who are luxury hotel guests or luxury resort guests. Our brand, I think, can really change their mind about what it means to be on a ship, because it's such a different experience. It's quiet, it's refined, it's luxurious. The attention to detail, the comfort, the space is all going to be similar to a hotel or a resort experience. And then for those clients who are maybe premium clients who haven't made that step up to luxury yet, this is a great opportunity to upsell them into a luxury brand without really changing the price point. So it makes it an easy upsell. As I mentioned before, we have great opportunities for extended journeys. So when you start to combine those 7-night segments into 14, 21, 28 days, you get additional savings for that. And we are family friendly. So a lot of people don't realize this because we are a luxury brand, but we do have a great kids club on board. So if you have luxury multi-gen clients, this is a great opportunity for the adults to get the luxury experience that they want, but for the kids to have that programming and that space to enjoy. What I always want to make advisors and guests aware of, though, these are I know there's a lot of clients out there who may say, oh, I'm not comfortable with having kids on board. I'm looking for something that's adults only. Please keep in mind that, this is a luxury brand. You will only find a handful of kids on most journeys. As I mentioned, I've sailed on Explora 1 6 times now. I have never had maybe more than 4 or 5 children on board any of the journeys that I've been on. So by no means is it going to be an experience where there's going to be kids everywhere and craziness. You will occasionally see a child or two on board, but the great thing is you don't really see them because we have a beautiful club for them called the Nautilus Club. We have great programming for them. So this is a wonderful opportunity for those clients who are looking for true luxury, multi-gen friendly travel. But for your clients who are just looking for adults only, this will still look and feel like an adult only experience because there are very few kids on board and they do have their own kind of private area that they stick to. So we can kind of, again, offer the best of both worlds in that regard. So again, I just wanted to thank you guys so much for spending this time with me today. You know, we're a new brand. We're still trying to get our name out there and spread the word on who we are. So I really, really, really appreciate you guys spending this hour with me to learn a little bit more about Explora Journeys. I truly feel that it's such an incredible brand, and I know that you will love it when you get the chance to sail with us as advisors, and I know that your clients will love it. Please let me know if you have any questions, or again, if you think of something later, I will send a follow-up email this afternoon. So feel free to, you know, shoot me an email or give me a call, and I'll always be happy to assist you with anything you need.
Joseph, we have a few questions that came in the chat. So let's see. One of them was, are you working with Teak HQ?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are you working with Teak HQ, T-I-Q-U-E HQ?
I'm not familiar with, what is that?
I don't know, that's from Kathy. I don't know, Kathy, you want to unmute and ask?
Is it an agency?
I think it is.
I mean, if it's an agency, we work with any accredited agency.
It's not an agency. It's a organization that helps travel agents become organized and stuff. I thought I heard something about Canva and Teak HQ, and excuse me, sorry, I'm part of them, and so I know they're doing some training stuff, so that's why I was wondering.
Okay. So is it it's like a software? Is it like an itinerary planning software? Like
no, no. I'll send you information.
Okay. Okay. Great.
Another question is, what is the guest to host ratio on the ship?
It's 1 to 1.25.
I remember it being very low.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is our team on board, I can't emphasize enough how warm, how welcoming they are. You know, and it's one of those things, of course, you have to be there to really understand it and appreciate it and feel it. But even though you're in this beautiful luxury environment, you really feel so at home. It is not stuffy. It's not pretentious. The guests, our hosts on board really welcome you like you're being welcomed into their home. And especially if you start sailing with us, you know, and we're starting to have a lot of repeat guests now that we've been in the water for 1.5 years. You know, and even for me, now that I'm coming back on board time and time again, you start to really get to know them, and you really feel like you're coming home when you're a repeat guest. So yeah, they're absolutely incredible.
Yeah. By the end of our week-long cruise, they knew what drinks we liked, and they would bring them to you without asking, etc. It was very nice.
Yeah.
Are shore excursions extra?
Yes, excellent question. So shore excursions are not included. They're additional. The reason for that is very deliberate. You'll remember, one of our 4 brand pillars is choice. So the rationale behind that is that a lot of times when you include excursions, like full transparency, I've worked for luxury ocean and luxury river cruise lines before. So for example, with luxury river cruise lines, where they're traditionally included, a lot of times, especially for those ultra luxury guests, the type of guests who are going to be booking the residences, they're most likely not going to want to do group tour experiences. Those type of guests want to do private experiences. You might, even as the advisor, might be working with a local DMC and have really special experiences set up for them. We also have private experiences that can be purchased through us. But the idea behind not including them is, a lot of times when things are included, people feel obligated because it's like, well, you know, this isn't necessarily my first choice of what I would want to do in this port, but because it's included, we might as well do it, because otherwise I feel like I'm leaving money on the table, and it's kind of a waste. So we wanted to take away that feeling of obligation that people have, and just let people be able to do exactly what they want to do, whether that be going off and exploring on their own, whether that be purchasing a private tour through us, whether it be purchasing a group tour through us, or if their advisor has arranged something special with them with a local operator. We just want to have people, we want to give people all the options and not feel like they're missing out on something that they maybe already paid for. And then that being said as well, if you're a member of any of the major consortia, you will always get Journey Experience credit with us. And right now, with that promotion that I just mentioned, the Unique Oceans offer, depending on the length of the journey, you can get up to $1,000 in journey in experience credit on your booking. So there's always going to, almost always, there's going to be some money on their account, whether that be an amenity from your consortia or some special promotion that we're offering in the marketplace at that time. So 9 times out of 10, your client will have some sort of credit on their account. So they already have that. And the great thing about that is then they can use it for what they want. They can use it for the spa. They could use it for a special dinner at Anthology. They could use it for excursions, anything they want. Even we do have a chef's cooking, a chef's table cooking class experience on board that you can book as well. So it opens up the opportunity to be able to do exactly what they want with it.
Sounds good. And then really quickly, because I want to finish on time, but I also have something to say to the group, and we're going to draw a name for the $50 Amazon gift card. What about marketing materials? Are those available on the website?
Yes. Yeah. So once you register, again, I'll send that link for registration if you haven't already registered. And yes, we have, once you log in, there's a tab that says Marketing Suite, and everything will be there. And
information on group sales?
Yes, actually, in my follow-up email, I'll send you a link to review I have a little booklet about our journey. We call it our Journey Together programs. And I'll give you that booklet that gives you an overview of our group program, because yes, we do have a great group program.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think this was a great presentation, and I'm so glad you were able to come tell us all about it here in the West.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. So everyone on the call, thank you for joining us on this snowy Colorado day. I want to let you know, we're having difficulty with our Facebook. We're having some issues with it. Let's just say that. And so we haven't been able to put out that other virtual meeting this month. It's a business builder, and it's going to be hosted by Stephanie Grease from Travify, and letting us know all the different ways ChatGPT and other AI can help us in our businesses. So we will send out a link via email, and we're going to be working on getting our Facebook up and going, but it's also available through Ticket Tailor, and no one has yet signed up for it, but it is in 2 weeks exactly. So another Tuesday. So keep your eyes open for that. We'll get an email out to everybody. We hope that you can join us for that virtual event and learn, because it's going to be a great event. And so finally, I hope you trust me.